this is my phonics lesson. Today we're going to learn how the letter A can say its name when it's followed by what we call a magic E or a silent C. But before we do that, we're going to read a little story, and each of you will get to take one of these stories home or put it in your browsing bag. That way you can read it to your mom or your dad or your grandma or your aunt, whoever you want to read it to, and show them how smart you are. Alright, so this book is called Feelings, and it's written by Cheryl Ryan and illustrated by Siri Weber Beanie. Okay, so as we're reading this book, I want you to think, as we're reading, what feelings does the boy in the book have, and when does he have these feelings? Okay. He says, I have many feelings. My feelings change from time to time. Sometimes I feel kind of happy. Sometimes I feel very happy. Sometimes I feel kind of sad. And sometimes I feel very sad. Sometimes I feel kind of angry. And sometimes I feel very angry. Is there any times that you're kind of angry, like maybe somebody has something that you want and you can't have it, and that might make you kind of angry, huh? But then other times you might feel very angry, like if you're playing on the playground and somebody comes up and they hit you, and then you get really, really, really angry. Yeah. Sometimes we feel kind of angry, and sometimes we feel very angry or kind of sad and very sad. But we just have to breathe, and it'll be okay. Sometimes I feel very scared. And sometimes I feel kind of scared. I have many different feelings. Do you have many different feelings too? So don't you all have many different feelings? Sometimes you may feel happy. Sometimes you may feel sad. Sometimes you may feel a little bit happy. Sometimes you may feel a little bit sad. Everybody has so many different feelings. So when we're reading the book, when did that little boy have feelings? When did he have those feelings, and what feelings did he have? Right, he was happy and sad and kind of sad and angry and kind of angry. Yeah, and he had those feelings like whenever he seen the spider, he was very scared, huh? Good job. All right, so everybody is going to get to take one of these books home and read it with your family. Okay, so now let's talk about our letter A and how letter A gets to say its name when it's followed by what we call a magic E or a silent E. Okay, so we're going to do something very fun today. We have a plate or a tray of flour. So some people do this with salt trays, but I'm using flour trays because I feel like flour it might be a little bit more messier, but I think I would be able to save a little bit more money because you get more flour than you would salt for the price. So anyways, but we have salt trays or flour trays, and what we're going to get to do today is we are going to write some letters in the flour. Okay, so I'm going to do it first, and then you're going to get to do it together. But I want you to listen and I want you to watch what I'm doing so that way you know what to do. Okay? Alright. So pay very close attention, and I have some word cards here that we're going to use. So let's try the word lake. Okay? So I'm going to say that word. I'm going to say lake. And then I'm going to sound it out. I'm going to say lake. Okay? Lake. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write that word in my flower. Lake. Okay? Lake. So I have it written in my flower, and I'm gonna sound out each word or each letter. Do I hear that E that's at the end of that word? Let's look at this word right here. Let's say it, or I'm gonna say it. Do I hear that E? No. But let's look at our A. A is saying its name. And there's an E at the end, which means that E is silent. So whenever you have a word and it has that A that says its name, like ache, then you're going to have an E that is silent at the end. Okay? So, I'm going to try one more word, and then y'all are going to get to do it. So I want you to pay attention very closely. I'm just going to kind of smooth this out some. Like I'm erasing it, kind of. And then, just dusting off my hands. I'm going to wipe them off some. And then I'm going to get another word. So this word that I'm going to do is face. And if I can find it. Alright, face. Alright, so we have this word, face, and I'm going to say it first. Face, and then I'm going to sound it out. Face. Face. And then I'm going to write it. And as I write it, I'm going to say each sound. Okay, so we heard that A say its name. So what's at the end? That silent E. And then, now y'all get to try it together. So I'm just going to smooth this back out. And everybody's going to get a flower tray. And then I'm going to show y'all some cards. So everybody has their flower tray. You have to be very careful. It might make a little bit of a mess. And that's okay. We can clean it up. Alright. So let's try the word cake. Cake. Alright. I want everybody to say it with me first. Cake. Alright. Now let's write it in our flower as we say it. Cake. Okay. So we wrote cake, and then let's point to each letter. Cake. Alright, so we have that A, and that A says its name, so it is followed by a silent E. Okay, so. Alright, now I want you to try another word. Let's try the word race. Let me show you. Alright, so we have race. Everybody say that word, race. Alright, and let's sound it out. Race. Okay, now let's write it in our flower. Make sure it's all smooth. Okay, now we're gonna write race. Race. Good job. All right, now we see that letter A and we heard that it said its name, so that means that there is that magic E. When the letter A says its name, we call that a long vowel A. Can everybody say long vowel A? Long vowel A. Right. All right, so now I'm going to show you a card, and I want you to try it by yourself, okay? All right, let's see. Let's try snake. Everybody say snake. Right, good job. Snake. Snake. All right, now I want you to write it in your flower, and each time you write that letter, I want you to say the sound, okay? So they would be writing it in their plate, and then I'll have them point to each letter. So I would say, all right, let's point to our snake, or our word, our first letter. And then we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to say each sound. Snake. All right. Did that letter A say its name? Yes. It had that long vowel A. Ache. Ache. You hear that A in it. So, and it has an E at the end, which means it is a silent E. Good job. Okay. So, now everybody can come put their flower trays up. We're just going to come put them on my desk, and then we're going to have a seat, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next. Okay, so we put them up, and now we're going to move on to our centers, and I'm going to call a couple people over for small groups at a time, but everybody will get to come. So everybody can go to their first center of the day, and I'm gonna call 5 people over to my small group. So I'll call the students over, and they will come. All right. So now we're gonna start our small group activity. We know, I would say, we know that the letter A says its name whenever it has a silent E, and then I'm going to ask, did you know that silent E can change words? So we're going to look at these words right here. Everybody's going to get some of these words. There's lots of words, and we're going to get to take them home and practice these. So what we're going to do is everybody has their pair of scissors, and we are going to cut one of these out, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So we're going to cut our word out like this. Okay, so we have our word. What word is this? Shape. All right, so let's sound it out. Shape. All right, now you see this E? And you see that dotted line? We're going to fold that E away. We're just going to fold it right there on that line, and we're going to tuck it behind. Now what word is this? Shap. 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 Okay, so what happened there? We took that E away, and it became a different word, right? But when we add that E back, what word is that? Shape. Shape. Okay, so let's listen to that A, because I want y'all to see that. Shape. When we have that E, that silent E, it makes our A say its name. Shape. Shape. So we hear that A. And then when we have that E again, we have shap. Shap. Is letter A saying its name again? No. Letter A does not say its name now. we just have sh, app. What is letter A sounding like now? Right, app. Alright, so we're going to continue cutting out the rest of these on each paper. And then when you get done, we're going to work in pairs and we're going to practice these, okay? So now everybody will cut all of these out, and then we will start filling out our list. So I'm going to have them cut them out because that is better for those fine motor skills. So they will get to cut each of these out. And then everybody has a copy, so they will actually get to take these home and practice them with their family. I'm going to pause this as I'm cutting them out. Okay, so now everybody has their words cut out, and I'm going to let them practice with their partners. Since we did the first one together, I'm confident that they can do it with their partners. So what they would do is one person would do one word. So this word is, let's do this word. This word is plain, and then they would show their partner that they fold it back. They would say our new word when we take that E away, plan, and they will see that that E has changed the word and the sound that that A makes. And line like this one is had, and then when you take that E away, it becomes had. So they would get to practice with their partners doing each of these words, and then once they finish practicing with their partners, we would move on to filling out our sheet. So this sheet is a sheet that has silent E words, and then you would write short vowel words on one side. Sorry. So we have silent E words, short vowel words. So basically they're gonna go, I'm gonna do the first one with them, but they would go with their partner and do each one again, but write it and determine whether it, right when it's a short vowel versus whenever it has that silent E on there. So we have made. We have that silent E, so it's made, aid, made, and I'm going to write that on the silent E word side because it has that silent E, so I'm going to say aid, made. So I would write that silent E, and then they can flip it over. They take that E away, and we have mad, add. So they would write it in the short vowel words. Because when you take that E away, that A now becomes a short vowel. And so you have, instead of a long vowel, so you have mad and made. Okay, and so then they would do the rest of them with their partners, and I would be observing and watching closely to see what they fill out on each of their sheets to assess them. And then at the end, I would have them tell me one thing that they've learned from our small group activity, and then I would also have them pick a card out of all of my cards here. There's many words: snake, plane, whale, face, grade, lake, cake, race, and they would be able to pick one of these words, and I would want them to say that word, tell me what sound the A makes and whether it is a long vowel or a short vowel, because I want them to understand that whenever the A says its name, it's a long vowel A. So yeah, that's the end of my lesson.